Joining us now is president and co-founder of the Center for Medicine in the Public Interest. That is Peter Pitts.
All right, so we've heard obviously new information from President Trump avoiding groups of 10 or less. So a lot of people are social distancing. They're avoiding going out in public for anything other than the necessities. Can you tell us more about social distancing, maybe some facts that we might not realize? What happens if you and your partner or one of you are infected and you're supposed to social distance together?
You know, if people are expecting the zombie apocalypse to happen, the news is it's not. Social distancing works. It keeps people out of the way. It makes us all become part of the solution, and that's crucial. You know, if you're living with somebody who is ill, whether it's the coronavirus or whether it's the flu, certainly you're at higher risk. You don't want to leave them alone. But again, these are issues that work. It isn't just medicines and vaccines. It's the actions that we take as individuals, as a society, that will actually help to decrease the uptick of the coronavirus. You know, and those who are belittling it, those who still want to go out to restaurants, you have to do the right thing. I'm beginning to feel a little bit of a kind of a post 9/11 vibe on this, where people are really coming together. People want to do the right thing to help everybody. And that's really, I think, the most positive attitude to have. There are going to be serious repercussions. More people will get the disease. Fewer people will die, but some will. Students will suffer, businesses will suffer. But again, we have the solutions in our control, and social distancing is an incredibly powerful tool to decrease the spread of this virus.
And so going back over that social distancing here, that's talking about staying 6 feet apart, right? Not shaking hands, if that's possible as well. And obviously limiting how many people that you congregate with. Right now, again, President Trump saying 10 or less, CDC advising for the next 8 weeks, 50 or less. But this completely changes the landscape that we know as life.
It does. It really just puts a completely different view on society as we know it. It also means that if schools are closed, and I think there's a degree of hysteria in there, but people make their own decisions over an abundance of caution sometimes, and you can't judge. That doesn't mean that students should then congregate at people's homes. I mean, social distancing means everywhere. And I think we need to understand that. I think parents who are working, whose kids are home, need to say, listen, this is serious. You can't go hang out with 30 of your friends, at a location. That's not the way this happens. This is as important for adults as for kids, for teenagers, across the board. And these things sound so silly. Washing your hands, keeping, an extra, 94 inches between people. But cumulatively, it makes a huge difference.
Well, what's next? I mean, curfews, sheltering in place. We've seen that in San Francisco now. Do we expect that to spread as well?
Well, I think if you look at the numbers from how they grew in China, how they have really rapidly grown in Europe. I think it's interesting that the WHO is making Europe the epicenter now. And you look at our numbers, we're doing either as well or as poorly as everybody else. So I think a key point here as well is don't fix the blame, fix the problem. Many of the reporting I'm seeing on television and the articles I'm reading in newspapers are looking to talk about whose fault is this. At this point, let's focus on getting the job done and fixing it. I think we all have our eye on the prize now. And watching TV and watching politicians blame this person or blame that person, that's for their own personal political gain, and I think that's disgusting. It's got to stop. We all need to pull together and do what's right for everybody.
The president and the coronavirus task force team out of the administration has definitely been a lot more transparent. You've seen them. I believe they're going to be having a press conference coming up later today to highlight some things. Do you feel like the social distancing, the standard and limiting how much we congregate, is that going to continue past the 15-day mark that the administration put out?
I think that it will. I think that ultimately we're looking at a coronavirus situation that's going to really decrease over time as the weather changes. Some people say April, some people say Memorial Day. But I think that we will get out of the social distancing extremes over time. And you'll see that by restaurants being allowed to open or some schools going back into session. Again, it's not going to all change at once for everybody. It'll evolve over time, just as it's evolved over time towards a more distinct social distancing. But I don't think that after people are inside for 14 days, doesn't mean that they're immune. It simply means they don't have the virus. So we're going to have to be pretty vigilant for some time to come yet.
Yeah, definitely changing our typical everyday lifestyle. That's Peter Pitts. He's the president and co-founder of the Center for Medicine in the Public Interest. Peter, thanks so much.
Thank you.